children. So we meet again. Let's start today's session, and today I'll be discussing further how the other types of sentences are converted from direct speech into indirect speech. Basically today we'll be discussing the interrogative sentences and the imperative sentences. So let's start today's class. Children, in the earlier session we have discussed the conversion of assertive sentences from direct speech into indirect speech. Today we'll be discussing the conversion of interrogative sentences from direct speech into indirect speech. Let's start with the rules, how the interrogative sentences are changed in reported speech. The first rule here, the reporting verb is changed into ask, inquire or demand, etc. Like earlier in the assertive, we changed the reporting verb into told or asked. Here we'll change into asked, inquired or demand, etc. Secondly, no conjunction is used to introduce the reported speech if the question begins with an interrogative words. Children, please remember there is no conjunction used if the sentence is beginning with an interrogative word, that is what, who, whose, which, when, where, why, how, whom, etc. Third point is, if or whether is used to introduce the reported speech if the question is in yes, no and begins with a helping verb. Now, what do we mean by yes and no questions? That means where you need to answer a question in either yes or no. Let's take it for example. Are you going tomorrow? So answer will be either yes, I am going tomorrow, or no, I am not going tomorrow. So in such cases, if the sentence is answering, the question is answering in yes or no and begins with a helping verb, then we introduce such sentences by if or whether instead of that. Now, as you all know what helping verbs are, or auxiliary verbs are, like do, does, is, am, are, was, were, has, have, did, had, shall, will, can, could, all the modal auxiliaries, etc. Fourth point, change the questions into statements. Yes, this point I had already discussed with you, that any type of sentence, whether it is assertive, interrogative, optative, exclamatory, all are changed into a statement. Fifth point, other rules regarding change of tense of the verb or pronouns or the word showing distance, nearness, they all follow the same. Sixth point, let's discuss, please need to pay attention on these points. If a positive question in the reported speech has the auxiliary do, does, this do or does is dropped, whatever the form of the question may be, and other change in main verb will be according to the rules. This will be more clear with the help of this example. Let's take, he said to me, do I sing a song now? He asked me if he sang a song then. I already explained in this third point that if or whether is used when the question is beginning with a helping verb or an auxiliary. Now, do here is a helping verb. So, if the sentence is beginning with do or does, we drop it, whatever the form of the question is, and the main verb is changed according to the tense. Let's take the seventh point, that is, if the sense of interrogative sentence is negative and do does is used in the sentence, then do and does is changed into did. The past form. Let's take for example, she said to me, do I not accept your proposal? Now not is added, that means it is negative interrogative. So we change such sentence, then do is changed into did. So answer will be, she asked me if she did not accept my proposal. Children, let's start with the 8th point now. If did, has, have is used in the interrogative sentences, it is changed into had. But if had is already in the sentence, then it remains unchanged. Let's take for the examples. I said to him, have you ever been to Mumbai? I asked him if he had ever been to Mumbai. Let's take the second example. He said to me, had you broken my pen? He asked me if I had broken his pen. So in the first sentence, there is have. The sentence is, or the reported speech is starting with have, which is changed into had when converted into indirect sentence. Similarly, in the second sentence, the reported speech is starting with had, so it remains the same. Other changes are made. The change of tenses or the pronouns or the remoteness of the sentence or words. These changes are made, but other than that, this is similar. Let's take up the 9th point. If the interrogative sentences begin with shall, then there are two uses of it. Firstly, if the shall tells us that they are talking about pure future, means they are referring to shall in the future sense. And secondly, if shall is used as a modal auxiliary in the case of request. Let's take up the first part, that is pure future. He said, shall I ever forget her? Now in the sentence, he is actually referring in the future tense. Shall is being referred to in the future tense. He wondered if he would ever forget her. Now here, shall could be converted into should also. But if we are referring in the future sense, so shall is changed into would. Let's take the request part. Asha said to Rohan, shall I open the window? Now, if this sentence, Asha is actually asking Mohan, or maybe in the form of request, ki, shall I open the window? If we change such a sentence, then Asha asked Mohan if she should open the window, because she is requesting actually ki, if she should open the window. So, for using of shall, there are two cases, pure future and request. Children, the earlier points which I discussed will be more clear with these set of examples now I am about to discuss with you. Let's start with the first part. Questions beginning with a helping verb. First is, I said to her, will you have ironed your clothes? I asked her if she would have ironed her clothes. Now, I already discussed that if the sentence is starting with a helping verb, then we will use if or whether, and we won't use the conjunction that. And even the interrogative sentence is changed into a statement. Let's see the next example. He said to them, were you not scolding your sons? He asked them if they had not been scolding their sons. Now here we see this change of the tense. It is according to the earlier rules which I had explained. That will be similar. Other than that, there is no change. The rules of the tenses or the pronouns remain similar in all the types of sentences. Only there is a little bit difference from assertive to interrogative. Like here, that is not used and if and whether is used. And so on. So let's take the third example for the helping verb. He said to you, does she create a problem for you? He asked you if she created a problem for you. Now let's come to the B part, that is sentences having yes or no answers. Let's take the first example. I said to him, "Do you want to go to Chandigarh?" He said, "No, sir." Now in such cases where there are two parts, first part is actually the question and the next part is where they are answering no or yes, whatever. Now how they are changed? I asked him if he wanted to go to Chandigarh. Now this part is the similar part like we have discussed earlier. And respectfully he replied in negative. But if the answer would be yes, then respectfully he replied in positive, or and he replied in affirmative. This could be written like this. Let's see the second example. He said to me, "Does Mohan still play?" I said, "Yes, sir." He asked me if Mohan still played and I replied in positive. Or it could be and I replied affirmatively. Both are correct. The C part, questions beginning with interrogative words. The second point I had discussed while discussing the rules. The words who, what, where, why, how, etc. Such words. They said to her, "Whose house are you purchasing?" They asked her whose house she was purchasing. Children, please note that there is no that conjunction used. We are using one of these question words only. We are not introducing the reported speech with the conjunction that. Let's take example 2. They said to us, "How have you solved this sum?" They asked us how we had solved that sum. And please remember one more thing in mind. After the question word, first comes the pronoun, then the helping verb. If you answer it like that, this asked us how had we solved that sum, this will again become a question which will be marked as wrong. This need to be kept in mind that while changing the questions beginning with interrogative words, we after the interrogative word we add the pronoun and then the helping verb. If you write it others way, then it will be wrong because it will again convert into a question. Let's see the third example. She said to me, "Why were you hiding today?" She asked me why I had been hiding that day. Today will change into that day. Next part is questions beginning with modal auxiliaries. Yes, we have discussed in the rules also the modal auxiliaries can, could, shall, should, would, could, must, etc. So how they are changed? Let's see. I said to her, "Can you jump into the river?" I asked her if she could jump into the river. Now can is changed into could. Let's take the other example for the modal auxiliaries. He said to me, "Must I leave for Mumbai tomorrow?" He asked me if he had to leave for Mumbai the next day. Children, I would like to mention a point here which you please keep in mind, or you could even write it down somewhere. If the sense of must, necessity or compulsion is shown at the time of speaking, it will be changed into had to. Like in this example, in the second example. Now here must is changed into had to because in this sentence it is showing necessity or compulsion. But if the same necessity or compulsion shows the future, it will be changed into would have to. It will be changed into would have to. Again, I repeat, if the same necessity or compulsion shows future, means we are talking in terms of the coming future, it will be changed into would have to. It would remain unchanged if it shows permanent ruling or prohibition. Now, permanent ruling or prohibition here means when you are prohibited to do something, कि ये काम नहीं करना. In such a case, they won't change, because then it becomes you have to do it or you have not to do it, whatever the situation may be. After this, let's come to the conversion of imperative sentences. Here also, the rules of the tenses, pronouns, or the word showing nearness into distance, they are similar. Those rules remain same. Only a little bit is difference in the use of words here and there. But to understand better, let's start off with the first part. That is, let's discuss these sentences. Bring your book. Please give me your pen. Do not waste your time. Open the window. Now, when we read these words, you can make out what sort of sentences these are. Or basically, I should tell you what imperative sentences are. Imperative sentences are those which express commands, request, advice, warning, etc. or even suggestion sometimes also. So, when we convert such sentences into statements, or we can convert into from direct into indirect, then the reporting verb is changed into, if it is a request, then the words are used requested, begged, asked, appealed, etc. If it is advice, then advised, forbade, suggested, urged, etc. If it is an order, then commanded, ordered, told, etc. So basically, all the words referring, imperative words you could say, they are converted this type. Second point is, no conjunction is used to you introduce the reported speech. There is no conjunction that used. Third point is, the imperative word is changed into infinitive one by putting to. Now, we have discussed infinitives in the earlier classes, and even in my earlier sessions also, I had discussed what infinitives or gerunds are. Infinitive is word when we add to the main verb. It becomes an infinitive. So, putting to before the main verb, it becomes infinitive. So, imperative word changes into the infinitive verb. In the case of a negative imperative, we drop the auxiliary do and place to after not. This point will be more clear when I discuss the examples that follow this. Let's take up this example. The teacher said to the boys, "Help me, please." The teacher requested the boys to help her. Prashant said to me, "Don't make noise." Prashant told me not to make noise. Yes, the fourth point is, if the conjunction that is used should is placed before the infinitive. I repeat again, if the conjunction that, if sometimes there are certain sentences where would like to use the conjunction that, then after that will use should here. Let's see this example. First, suppose the teacher said to the boys, "Stand up on your benches." The teacher ordered the boys to stand up on their benches. He said to me, "Have a cup of tea with me, please." He invited me to have a cup of tea with him. Mother said to me, "Work properly." Mother advised me to work properly. Children, there are certain sentences which start with let. Now, let sentences also come under the imperative type only. Let's start with the conversion of sentences which start with let. The first rule for that is, if the word let denotes permission, it is changed into the infinitive to let, and reporting verb is changed into requested. Let's take suppose this for example. Radha said to Anil, let me do this work. Radha requested Anil to let her do that work. Please remember, there are, other than that, without let, there are no further changes in that. It is not that difficult to understand. It is also a type of imperative only, so the rules will be same. Only let will be changed into to let, and we write requested. Again, this requested could be changed according to the sentence also. So the next point is, when let expresses a proposal, the reporting verb is changed into proposed or suggested, and let is replaced by should. Let's take for example, Mohan said, come, let us play cricket. Now here Mohan is actually proposing to play cricket. So Mohan proposed that we should play cricket. Third point is, when let expresses permission or persuasion. In the first point also we had discussed the permission part, but here permission or persuasion, it could be either way. It is changed into might, be allowed to, or simply into the infinitive to let. To let we had discussed in the first point also, but it could be changed into might be allowed to also. Let's take these examples. The principal said to the peon, let the boy come in. The principal ordered the peon to let the boy come in. Ravi said to his friend, let me go home now. Ravi requested his friend that he might be allowed to go home then. Now we'll change it to then. Or the sentence could also be written this way. Ravi requested his friend to let him go home then. Both are correct. Fourth point is, when let expresses a condition or supposition, it is changed into might and reporting verb remains unchanged, and that is used at the place of inverted commas. Means in such cases, only in this cases, that is used conjunction, that conjunction is used to introduce the reported speech. Other than that, in all type we don't use that. The teacher said, let him work ever so hard, he cannot pass the examination. Here it is a condition, means they are supposing it कि वो जितना मर्जी मेहनत कर ले फिर भी वो पास नहीं होगा. So this is an imaginary condition. So the teacher said that he might work hard, ever so hard, he could not pass the examination. So now again repeat all the rules regarding the tenses or pronouns or the word showing distance or nearness. They will change as per the rules we have discussed in the beginning. They are similar for all types of sentences. Except these, there are a little bit changes here and there. Children, we'll be discussing the conversion of remaining types of sentences in the next session.